Hey guys, I'm addressing a problem today that I know that we've all had at least once or twice. You cut your grass and you either leave your mower out and it gets rained on, or say you put it away and it sits for too long. You bring it out, you try to get it started, and it either won't start or you get it started and it just sits there and goes baddin, 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 and you can't hardly get any grass cut. Well, we're going to clean the carburetor on a Toro 6 3/4 horsepower mower. This one here. There's the carburetor box. So what we'll be doing is cleaning the carburetor and the gas tank out. Now the first thing you're going to do is to drain the gas out of the gas tank. Now on this one there's two different ways that you could do this. You could either take the line off the carburetor, which is all underneath all this, or you could take the line off the gas tank. I'm going to take the line off the gas tank just because it's more convenient for where I'm working here. And now if you take it off from the carburetor, one thing you can do is have like some sort of clamp that you can actually put on the gas line to hold down on your spillage. You'll still get a little bit out, but it won't drain on you while you're trying to take it apart. What I'm going to be doing is draining it into a 1 liter bottle. That's probably plenty enough for how much gas is left in this one here. And what I'm going to do is actually take the line off and hold it down here and drain the gas into it, as you can see. Right there. Alright, now I'm first going to start by taking the clamp and working it down past where the little lump would be on the nipple for the gas tank. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, how bulged that is. That's where the nipple has a little bulge on the end of it that helps it clamp on. Now, of course, you want to get your bottle or whatever it is that you're putting the gas in, and also I want to also take your lid off. You probably, if you can reach both at the same time, probably best to wait until you get the line off and get it started into the bottle and then take it off or whatever. That way it'll come out. Now, let's see here. Now, like I said, it may be kind of stuck on there, and what helps sometimes is to actually get it to turn, and sometimes the gas will get up in there and help lubricate it. But like I said, get your bottle ready, work it off slowly. Try not to break the nipple, because the nipple will break. It is plastic. So now you pull it off, try not to spill, and then there you go. Alright, now one thing I did forget to mention is these gas tanks, they'll have a filter like this stuck up in here that if it doesn't come off, a lot of times it'll come off with this, so you have to be really careful not to break that. But it sticks up in there and it filters any grit and whatnot that is trying to come through the line. Now make sure that before you put it back together that you put this back in there all the way till it's butted up against there like that, and then slide your line up over it. That way you'll still have your filter, and hopefully it'll keep stuff from getting into your carburetor. Alright, now next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and take your air filter compartment cover off and remove your air filter. And that will expose these two bolts, which is to the carburetor. Then you have another bolt here which helps hold this whole thing on. Now you also have right here an oil breather coming into your air box, and you're going to want to make sure that you take that loose. Sorry for getting in the way, but go ahead and take that loose, but don't forget to put that back on. Alright, now we're going to start by taking, well actually it's probably better to start by taking the bolt loose that holds the whole compartment on. just really preference. I'd like to have it where it comes loose when I take it loose. Go ahead and take that, make sure you put it somewhere safe. Now we'll come over here and do the nuts for the carburetor. Oh yeah, and also there's a spacer behind here, don't forget. I mean, every mower is going to be a little different, but this one has a spacer behind this part back here. I'm going to go ahead and set it here and leave it there. Now go ahead and take these loose, these nuts, so make sure we don't lose no parts. And another thing you want to do when you're taking something apart, and it's kind of common sense I suppose, but you want to make sure that you don't just go yanking anything apart, because if you don't know exactly everything that's in there, take it apart slowly, look at everything that's coming apart, that way you can tell where stuff goes. And we'll go ahead and pull this off, very easy. Come over here. Now you'll see we have another line coming into it here. I'm not exactly sure where that goes, but we'll go ahead and pull that off. And there we go, we've got the box off and we've exposed the carburetor. Now this one's a little fancy, it's got a little, I'm guessing it's a choke, runs off a vacuum. And then you also have here, coming over close, these are for your throttle. Now when you take these off, be very careful not to bend them or mess them up in any way. You have to be very careful every part that you take apart. I'm going to have to take this bracket loose because it has a rod that goes through and it doesn't look like it comes apart. But I'm going to take this nut and that nut out. It's a number 20 star. Now one thing about it, when I go to pull it out, this little piece here is going to come this way. I don't know if you can see the way that that's bent there. Hopefully when I pull it apart it'll slip right out. We'll see. I'm kind of cheating here. I'm using electric drill for it, but highly unrecommended. I'm not going to use it to put it back together. Now let's see if this will even do right for us here. Let's see. I also have to take loose the throttle linkage here. And as you can see, there's a notch there. If you can get it to pull around, it should. I'm not even showing you guys what I should, sorry. It should pop out. Just be very careful. I'm going to do that right quick because I need two hands, so I'm going to shut the camera off for a second. I apologize. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It popped right out. You see that? Now we have the spring down here. We definitely don't want to bend that in any way. So what I do is I grab the tip here and kind of course, the piece is going to move on me here, and just pull up on it, and voila. I don't know how much of that I showed. I apologize. But yeah, the spring here, and there we go. That's about it attached to it. So now what we do, see what I was talking about, this piece here, how it's turning. Hopefully we can get it to come right off. It might be a little bit of a pain, but you might have to kind of wiggle it around. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, so yeah, you're going to want to pop that out without breaking anything. That's the biggest thing. Just don't break anything. If you don't break it, it can be fixed. So let's see here. Trying to pop that out like that. There we go. And make sure you got your other pieces loose. Everything loose from the carburetor. Other than the gas line, I went ahead and left that on. I'll take it off when I get it off. But we just basically pull the carburetor off. Now that we have it off, what I'm going to do is, you see this diaphragm here for the choke. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off, because what I want to do is actually spray. You could use an air hose. I'm gonna use choke and carburetor cleaner, but basically clean the carburetor off, get all the crap from the outside. That way when you clean the inside, you don't have anything that's going to get inside of there. So, and like I said, it's a number 20 star. You take that loose. First, start with the vacuum line for the choke. Pop that loose. Like I said, might be a little rough. Oh, there we go. Now, and then I'm going to take these loose. Make sure that you hold it really good. It may want to try to jump on you. There we go. Now you got to figure out how this bar, this little piece here, is sitting, so that way when you pull it off, of course you don't mess nothing up there either. Let's see here, and there. Now, alright, next thing I'm going to do is actually take the fuel hose off. I'm going to take the clamp loose. Like I said, a lot of times it helps if you can turn it, but see, that's not even one. There we go. See, turn it, and that will help that come on. And then, now what I'm going to do is actually hit this choke and carburetor cleaner. As you can see, it coming clean on the outside. There we go, let's see. And one thing you want to do is basically try not to move the gasket if possible. You try to take it loose from here, more than likely it's going to rip, so I'm not even going to bother. But I'm going to go ahead and spray the carburetor down and spray through here. And the next thing I'm going to do is take the bowl off. Alright, now I'm going to take the bowl off the carburetor. This one here happens to be a 10mm. See if I can do it by hand. You may need something to hold this. If you have a vise, make sure you put a rag or something in there to keep from damaging the actual gasket or carburetor or anything. Let's see if I can get this loose. Oh, actually it is coming loose. You have a little bit of gas seeping out of there too. Now, set that loose. That's the little nut that holds it on there. Now, carefully take this loose. And now, I don't know if you can see this, there's like a little pin right here. What you want to try to do, a lot of times it'll slide out easy. This one, of course, is not. Yeah, you can see all the gunk build up on the end of that from sitting and inside the bowl. Let's see if we can get this to work loose here. There we go. So what you want to do, without scarring it or anything, you want to pull this pin out. It's not easy at times. It may come little at a time. There we go. Set that on the table. Now when you pull this apart, you'll notice a needle valve on the end of there. Make sure you do not lose that. And also, you can't see it in the camera, but there's an actual O-ring down in here. Preferably when you do a carburetor, you want to get a kit and you replace that, because a lot of times what happens is that'll dry out and get hard, and then when you have gas in it, it'll just continuously leak into the carburetor, fill the bowl up, and then start seeping out the other sides, and then you got a big mess on your hands. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if you can see down, let me try to get you where you can see down into there, little thing with a slot, a hole through the middle, right in the center there, right into this big hole here. I can't point at it, one hand in it here. Unfortunately, I can't get that out. Normally you would take a flathead screwdriver, but you'd have to make sure it's exactly the right size. But being this one's so gummed up, it's seized up inside there, so there's no way for me to get it out without probably ruining it. So you can either stop there, go buy a new carburetor, or you can do it how I'm going to do it today, which is half job season. And I'm going to leave it in there and just spray out all the passages with carburetor cleaner and make sure that they're all free and clear. Normally you want to pull that's the actual jet inside that hole right there, and you want to pull it out, clean all the passages, because it has one at the bottom there. Then it's a little tube that goes up inside of here that has little holes on the sides of it. But like I said, right now I'm just doing it half job season, so you know, it'll still work, it'll be clean as long as I get everything out. Sometimes you can't and it won't work right, and you will have to get another carburetor, but I'm hoping for the best. Now, even if you can get this out or not, you want to go ahead and grab, even like this is a bread tie type thing, and just peel back the plastic, and then that way you can stick it down through the hole of the jet just to make sure. Wait a minute, make sure you got it centered in the center where the hole is, and that way you can make sure that the passageway through the jet is clear. And then once you get all your passages clear and everything's good, you go ahead and grab your float. Now, one thing, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, the way the light is, but right here you want to make sure the tip of that is nice and pointy, but like a cone, not like straight. I don't know how to describe it, but you want this to look like a cone. You don't want like a little piece sticking up or anything. You want it nice. See how that one kind of is. I don't know if you can see that. But then you go ahead and make sure you have in the hole, and then you take your pin and you'll start it in there. It'll stop. Now you gotta be careful you don't drop anything, and also make sure that O-ring's still in there. And once you get it centered up, sometimes it's not easy. This one came out hard, so it might go in hard. Oh no, wait a minute, there we go. You just kind of wiggle that till you can get it to go back in the hole. Sometimes you might need to kind of give it a little bit of a helping hand. Just be careful. Oh, went too far, see that? Just kind of move it back, put it about center, and that way, now that you have your float, and if you want to, you can blow through here and push this open and close, make sure that it's working. I don't know if you saw that, but and now it's good to remember how it came off the mower that way, because you see this little thing here, that's for draining the bowl of the carburetor, and you want it sticking out where you can get a hold of it. So you want to make sure we're sitting that way, so pretty much about like that. One thing I did forget to show you is this gasket around here. It's like a rubber. Make sure that it's down in there because you want to get a good seal. It's a nice O-ring on this one. So they're a little different here and there. Then you put that on there. Put this back in the hole. And it's good to hit that with a wire brush if you want to, just to clean the threads. Alright, let's see. Tighten that back up. Alright. That was actually my finger cracking up that. Alright, now we'll end up putting the choke part back on. Now we're going to put this piece back on, and I don't know if you guys can see this here in the camera, but there's like a little slot on this plastic piece, and you want to kind of, the way that the piece is, you got to push it down and turn it in. So you push it in, turn it, and that way it'll fall right into place where it's supposed to be on the carburetor. So, and now you have these shoulder bolts, which helps you keep from breaking the plastic. I'm gonna get those started here. Let me get, oh, sorry about that, guys. Let's get this. Yeah, it's a little hard doing things by yourself sometimes. But get that started into the hole right there. And before I tighten that one, I'm gonna go ahead and spin it around and get the other one started right here. Oh, I missed the hole. There we go. Get it in there. Oops, I keep dropping that. Get that in that hole. Spin it down, make sure we get, see how that shoulder, you gotta make sure you get past that shoulder. Get it snugged up. Get my wrench. Yeah, I kind of got a weird setup here. Let's see. Oh, get in there. Alright, now just tighten that up. You don't want to, like, you know, strip it out or break the plastic. You just want it snug enough to where it's not going to shake loose from the vibration of the mower. Oh, I keep dropping that piece. Sorry, guys. It's tedious trying to film it and do it at the same time. I apologize. Alright. Now, got that on there. God, sorry about that, guys. Go ahead and put this piece. This piece is supposed to sit like that, I believe. So, what I'll do, actually supposed to sit the other way, like that. I don't know if you saw how I did that. See, it's got to sit like this. So we're gonna go opposite side, flip it around, and then there, boom, it's in there. Then of course, you got the vacuum hose here. Push that on. Take your clamp. Push it up over the nipple. There we go. She is ready to put it back on. And now we'll slip her back on. Make sure we get this little thing in the hole. Oh no, I've got it backwards. Alright, now slip her in the groove of this little arm here. There we go. This, make sure that's your throttle linkage. Pull it out of the way. Go ahead and set this on top of here to stabilize it. And then you want to take your spring and then I take a pair of needle nose. You can kind of, you want to go a little from the end, that way you got a little maneuver room. Get the other out of your way. Of course you wouldn't want to throw it down there like I did, but might help to push that to get the spring back into place. Now you go for the linkage. Remember, you're going to have to pull this, push the carburetor back on. But you're going to have to pull this all the way back. And it's got a little hole that it goes down into. And there you go, there's your linkage. And now, I'm going to go ahead and drop the screw. And then, get it nice and dirty. No, I'm kidding. You want it clean. But I'm going to go ahead and put the screw in for that bracket that holds that on. And tighten that up. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up these two and hold this. It's better to probably do that after you, or while you have the chance, because I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that up and then put it on. Tighten this one up. There. I'm gonna go ahead and put the fuel line back on there. I should have done that before, but put the clamp up where it should be. You have to use two hands. Sorry if I blocked the shot. There we go. Now make sure everything's where it should be, working properly. Now you can work on getting the outside cover back on. Now, the inside of the cover has these spacers. So now what we're going to do, go ahead, put the fuel line back on. Go ahead and put the clamp back up there. Now we'll go ahead and put the air filter box back on. Make sure to put the spacer back behind here. Probably the easiest way to do that is put this bolt on, the spacer in. The bolts back on, or should I say nuts. And filter back on. And there you go. You're ready to put gas in it and try it. One thing I did forget is the two tubes that go to the breather box. Make sure you put those back on as well. Well guys, that'll just about do it. I hope this video was helpful, and just some things to remember when you're taking something apart and you don't know exactly how it comes apart. Just go slow, be easy, don't force anything, and most of all, remember how you took it apart. Alright guys, don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't, share the video if you care to, and I've turned on the fan funding button, so if you care to help out the channel, help me bring you some more interesting material and content, hit the button right there. And till next time, thanks for watching.